Practical Vedanta Part 2, Text 7. The whole vision is changed, and instead of an eternal prison, this world has become a playground. Instead of the land of competition, it is a land of bliss where there is perpetual spring, flowers bloom, and butterflies flit about. This very world becomes heaven, which formerly was hell. To the eyes of the bound, it is a tremendous place of torment, but to the eyes of the free, it is quite otherwise. This one life in the universal life, heavens and all those places are here. All the gods are here, the prototypes of man. The gods did not create man after their type, but man created gods. And here are the prototypes. Here is Indra, here is Varuna, and all the gods of the universe. We have been projecting our little doubles, and we are the originals of these gods. We are the real, the only gods to be worshipped. This is the view of the Vedanta, and this its practicality. When we have become free, we need not go mad and throw up society and rush off to die in the forest or the cave. We shall remain where we were, only we shall understand the whole thing. The same phenomena will remain, but with a new meaning. We do not know the world yet. It is only through freedom that we see what it is and understand its nature. We shall see then that this so-called law or fate or destiny occupied only an infinitesimal part of our nature. It is only one side, but on the other side there was freedom all the time. We did not know this, and that is why we have been trying to save ourselves from evil by hiding our faces in the ground like the hunted hare. Through delusion we have been trying to forget our nature, and yet we could not. It was always calling upon us, and all our search after God or gods or external freedom was a search after our real nature. We mistook the voice. We thought it was from the fire or from a god or the sun or moons or stars, but at last we have found that it was from within ourselves. Within ourselves is this eternal voice speaking of eternal freedom. Its music is eternally going on. Part of this music of the soul has become the earth, the law of this universe which was always ours and always will be. In one word, the ideal of Vedanta is to know man as he really is, and this is its message. And if you cannot worship your brother man, the manifested God, how can you worship a God who is unmanifested? Do you not remember what the Bible says? If you cannot love your brother whom you have seen, how can you love God whom you have not seen? If you cannot see God in the human face, how can you see him in the clouds or in images made of dull dead matter or in mere fictitious stories of our brain? I shall call you religious from the day you begin to see God in men and women, and then you will understand what is meant by turning the left cheek to the man who strikes you on the right. When you see man and God, as God, everything, even the tiger, will be welcome. Whatever comes to you is but the Lord, the eternal, the blessed one, appearing to us in various forms as our father, mother, and friend and child. They are our own soul playing with us. As our human relationships can thus be made divine, so our relationship with God may take any of these forms, and we can look upon him as our father or mother or friend or beloved. Calling God mother is a higher ideal than calling him father, and to call him friend is still higher, but the highest is to regard him as the beloved. The highest point of all is to see no difference between lover or beloved. You may remember perhaps the old Persian story of how a lover came and knocked at the door of the beloved and was asked, "Who are you?" He answered, "It was I," and there was no response. A second time he came and exclaimed, "I am here," but the door was not opened. The third time he came and the voice asked from inside, "Who is there?" He replied, "I am thyself, my beloved," and the door opened. So is the relation between God and ourselves. He is in everything, he is everything. Every man and woman in the palpable, blissful, living God. Who says God is unknown? Who says he is to be searched after? We have found God eternally. We have been living in him eternally. Everywhere he is eternally known, eternally worshipped. Then comes another idea that other forms of worship are not errors. This is one of the great points to be remembered, that those who worship God through ceremonials and forms, however crude we may think them to be, they are not in error. It is a journey from truth to truth, from lower truth to higher truth. Darkness is less light, evil is less good, Impurity is less purity. It must always be borne in mind that we should see others with eyes of love, with sympathy, knowing that they are going along the same path as we have trodden. If you are free, you must know that all will be sooner or later. And if you are free, how can you see the impermanent? If you are really pure, how do you see the impure? For what is within is without. We cannot see impurity without having it inside ourselves. It is one of the practical sides of Vedanta, and I hope we shall all try to carry it into our lives. Our whole life here is to carry this into practice. But the one great point we gain is that we shall work with satisfaction and contentment instead of with discontent and dissatisfaction. For we know that truth is within us. We have it as our birthright, and we have only to manifest it and make it tangible.